Hello, hello. Welcome back to your favorite radio show of the week. This is Red, White, and Brown from Live. I'm Michael here, and today we got a big lineup for you guys. We are going to review a lot of new movies that came out. By the way, happy Halloween for all of you folks that celebrate that holiday. It was a very spooky season this year, and so we're very excited to give you some, well appropriate themed movies so that you can go watch them on your own time. How's your week been?
The week's been super busy. It's been a very, very, very spooky week that way because absolutely had no time to do anything else. But guess what I had time to do? I watched all
Time.
these movies.
Yeah, and a lot of these were definitely ones that we very much enjoyed watching as well. So make sure to stick around because you'll actually be hearing some quite positive reviews this week. But to get things started off, we're going to be talking about a movie that came to the theater. We're going to be talking about Phone Booth, a comedy that we believe had some charm to it. I know that you got to see this movie this week. What did you think of it?
I absolutely loved it. I have to tell you, my standard for humor is extremely slapstick. I laugh at anything. I laugh at dad jokes. I laugh at bad jokes. I laugh at like weirdest things. And this was fun for me. I'll tell you why. Phone Bhoot. Bhoot is Bhoot is not the boot, but it's boot is the Hindi word for ghost. So these guys are the Indian Ghostbusters, and the movie starts with these two friends. One of them is a North Indian, the other is a South Indian. The North Indian guy is called Major. The South Indian guy is called Gulu, short for Galileo, and both of them live together. And guess what? They live a life of spook because they love ghosts. So they have dreams of bathing in blood showers, and then the dream. He wakes up from the dream and says, "Oh, the shower turned into water. Oh my God, what happened?" So they have their the tolerance for spooky stuff is way high. What they have done is they live in a house that they've converted into a dungeon of sorts where there are only, ghosts and spooky pictures all over them. But what they've done is they've also rescued an inflatable doll, a doll of a comic character called Raka. When we were kids, we used to read these comics called Chata Chaudhary and Sabu, and the villain of the comics was a guy called Raka. So apparently that inflatable doll is their claim to fame and sits right at the entrance of their home. And these two are crazy kids. And the fathers are literally giving up on them, and they're mooching off their fathers literally. Oh, this is our last business. We'll do this, we'll do that. One fine day, they throw a party for a moonless night. And the ghosts turn up for some reason. And one of the ghosts is Katrina Kaif. Her name is Ragini in the movie. And she offers them a business advice. She says, "Okay, let's do business. I will spook people out being a ghost, and you guys can go and exercise them and literally make money off it." So they're like, "No, no, no, we won't lie to people about ghosts. We love ghosts. We're not going to do this. We won't make idiots out of people. So we're not going to do this business." So they say no to her. But then later, as she leaves, they're like, "Okay, we won't do business with her, but we can do business otherwise. Let's open a business where we kind of sell spook, and we can help people get rid of ghosts because we're not afraid of ghosts." So that's how they start a business, and they publish their phone number, and the entire telephone is like a skeleton. So they get calls. It is slapstick to the core, but every damn attempt in this movie, every dialogue, everything else is from some movie or alludes to some movie character or is just slapstick to the core. It is so funny. If you know Bollywood, this movie, every dialogue is a take, is a trope, is everything about it is Bollywood. It is so funny that if you know Bollywood, you'll laugh out loud. I was watching it in the theater, and there's a couple in front of me and nobody else in the theater. I swear to God, we were talking to each other by the end of it because the movie was so funny that we were like, "Oh, remember this movie? This is where this came from." Or this tune, it came from that one. And then literally killed it because the chemistry between the lead pair, and I'm not saying the woman, but the two boys, the chemistry and the comic timing is just perfect, perfect to the core. So I absolutely loved it. And I know people in the theater with me also loved it. We were laughing out loud because some of the jokes were funny. I mean, even though they were slapstick, we don't care. Just made good sense. For example, they have this, they finally capture a bad guy, and the bad guy's name is Atmaram Sarvanand Souls Limited. So he's a broker of souls. What he does is he captures dead people's souls, and he tells them he's gonna find deliverance for them if they do certain things. So he makes the soul do dirty things, and then he promises them deliverance but doesn't give it to them, just captures them in a bottle. So this guy decides that he's got to incorporate his company because business is great, and these two kids are giving him a competition. So he decides, I'm going to incorporate my company. What are we going to call it? So Atmaram whatever Souls Limited. He says, let's abbreviate it. So abbreviated it's Ass Souls. Bad joke, I'm sorry, but it was funny.
Definitely reminds me of some movies that we've sat and watched. The one that comes to mind is Boobalia and Boobalia 2. Kind of seems like this is on a similar wavelength. So we're gonna let
way crazier. This is way crazier because it's ultimately the inflatable doll that rescues them. And then there is this witch, and this witch, her name is Chikni Chudel, named after a song called Chikni Chameli. This one's Chikni Chudel, but she's Bengali. So she can't speak Hindi words, and her pronunciation is totally Bengali. And she's a witch, so she has her feet turned the other way. And these two decide that we got to turn her feet the right way. So they do that to her, turn her feet, and she is scared of them. She sees them and she scoots, literally scoots. And then there is another witch. They call her Lady Diana. Diane in Hindi is a witch, so she's called Lady Diana.
Gotcha.
And she's got long white hair, and she's Punjabi. So all they have to do is play peppy bhangra tunes, and she starts dancing, and she loses it for them. and then there is another there's another reference to Brahma, and I laughed out loud at this one because, hey, remember we just watched Brahmastra, and there is the staff, and there is this entire dialogue over there where one of the kids tells the other one, it's like, this is some kind of an astra. And remember, in Brahmastra, Ranbir Kapoor's character was Astra. So he says, in Brahmastra, he says, if it's an Astra, there should be a button. So they look at the staff and said, if this is an Astra, there should be a button. They've literally lifted one-liners from all possible Hindi movies and they're nicely put together. You have to leave your mind behind to go watch it. It's so idiotic, but because it's idiotic, it is so much fun. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
We will let you guys, find out what other movies and one-liners are in this